Today, this young man is no stranger to us. This man is known for his talk on backbone and posture. And he was at his computer at his house and working from home. He got to use the restroom, and I guess his keystrokes wasn't moving. And his boss called him and said, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" He go, "Yeah, I just went to the restroom." And it dawned on him, here I'm a grown man with two master degrees, not one, two master degrees. And this young whippersnapper, younger than he is his boss, asked him, is he okay? He said, "Mr. Thomas, that just rocked me down to my foundation of my spirit and my soul. I got to get out of here." And he made a commitment to sleep on his floor until he gets RC knocked out. And he ain't that far away, but and now he's got a couple brand new IBOs in this past week. I'm really proud of him. He every day he's out getting 9, 10. I think this morning I got up and he got 10 more names and numbers just in the last 24 hours. Folks, are you out there getting names and numbers? And that's why he's getting IBOs in, because he's doing a simple little thing. All I ask you to do is get 3. Without further ado, from Dallas, Texas, the great Mr. Sam Foster, backbone and posture man.
Good morning, ACN. Good evening, no matter where you are on this planet. If you're on this call, I want to say thank you. If you're viewing it for the first time, if you'll be viewing it after this individual time, I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to all the people that have contributed to the platform, particularly Mr. Jabri Clemens, Mr. Al Thomas. As always, sir, we thank you for your leadership, and thank you for everybody who got on the call, who took the time out to listen at this time. I know that last week we talked about you're almost there. That's right. That's right. That was the topic of discussion. If you did not see it, go back to Destiny International, look it up. It was powerful, if I do say so myself. But today, we're going to get into something that I feel like is very important. It's going to be a little add-on to what we talked about last week, but it's going to be all the same quite inspiring. At least that's my goal. Okay? If you're taking notes, if you're not driving, if you're not physically driving, and you're able to take notes, the topic for today is chosen and committed. That's right. That's right. That's right. If you heard me right, you heard me. Chosen and committed. The reason why I chose this train of thought, ladies and gentlemen, is because there are two things that you have to weigh on in this balance of me saying chosen and committed. First of all, if you're chosen to do something, consider yourself not only lucky, but blessed. Scratch the lucky part. You're absolutely blessed if you're chosen to do something. And for those of you who understand scripture, it says that many are called, but few are chosen. So that way you can get a better understanding of where I'm going when I say chosen. Because there are many of us that are called to do something, but then there's a few of us that are chosen to do something. In other words, chosen should be a train of thought to where you realize that you've been singled out. You've been put in an elite status. You've been put into an elite status, an elite class of individuals to perform a certain task. Now, we talked about being an entrepreneur a little bit last week, and this is going to be a connection to that because I feel like everybody on this call and everybody that may view this call at some place, form, or juncture has to realize that you have been chosen for a time such as this. You have been chosen, but it's not enough just to be chosen. You have to be committed. Have to be committed because you can be chosen to do something and you don't stick with it. That's why you're chosen and you're committed. Two trains of thought, ladies and gentlemen, that must merge themselves. must merge themselves. Why? Because in order to be chosen and committed, you cannot quit it. Let me say that again. You're taking notes. In order to be chosen and committed, you cannot quit it. Where you going with this, Sam? Where you going with this? Sometimes you can take us on a roller coaster. That's right. That's right. I can. But I always remember, my intention is to always put us down with a smooth landing. And the reason why I say that is there have been many of us that have been chosen to be entrepreneurs, and we fail to be committed. Let me say that again. Let me say that again. Let me say that again for the individual who may have missed that. Many of us have been chosen to be this thing we call an entrepreneur, but we have failed to be committed. And the commitment within itself is only an opportunity for you to be consistent. And when you're consistent with something, you're definitely going to be committed to it by default. That's the glue. You're going to be committed and consistent at the same time. If you're chosen and you're committed and you're consistent, things tend to happen for you by default. I got people on the call that's saying to themselves, I'm in a position right now where I don't think I'm getting out of this what I'm looking for. Even for the individuals on this call that are not in ACN right now that may be thinking about coming in this direction. I'm going to leave you guys with something, and I'm going to try to be as brief as possible because I think that at this juncture of what I'm talking about, less can be better. Now, for those individuals that are on this call, we know what this comp plan looks like. We know what it looks like. We know what's on the table, and we know what's been on the table now for years. That by itself should be motivation. But I want to take this a step further for the individual who is thinking long term. Not just right now, but long term. How can this opportunity benefit me long term? For somebody who got off track and don't understand what we call the long game in the situation. Well, first of all, think about this like this. If you're coming in for the first time, you got an excellent comp plan on the front end. With all of this opportunity on the front end, not to mention all these other services that we have on the table, like Truvy for travel. That's going to be very important for individuals who understand what travel is all about. Why? Because many of us have to travel, many of us choose to travel. We got that part covered. For everybody that says, I want to be able to do something that I can do every day without it interrupting my schedule, we got you covered on that. For somebody who's saying out there, I don't know if I can do this. I've said it before, I'll say it again. You're already doing it. We got you covered. What we need to understand is our commitment level should be our everyday mentality towards what we're doing. Now, up front, if you want to motivate yourself, let's just think about every time we bump into someone, we have an opportunity to share this opportunity every single time. It doesn't have to be the same way every time. But I would always say, if you're using the school of thought, why don't I at least get this person's name and number? If I grab that name and number, I'm able to formulate my mentality at a later time. But at least I got that name and number. Fresh Start 101. At least I got that name and number. I'm able to formulate everything after that name and number at a later time. If I'm thinking long term, let me start thinking about individual people that not only I can help, but that I would love to partner with. Your business owners, for example, these are excellent people to talk to. Sometimes they can be rigid because they can kind of smell you coming. What are you trying to sell? What are you trying to do? We have to get that sale mentality out of our mind. Once again, for individuals who are on this call, no disrespect, but we're not selling anything. Once again, you can't sell anything that everybody already has. We're in a position where we're producing an opportunity for someone to either make finances off of this or save finances off of this. But we don't have to sell anything, because when you sell something to somebody, then you have to think about running up a hill that's raining. In other words, you're going to slip, you're going to be less motivated to do it. We're not selling. Can't sell what you already have, but I can provide an opportunity for you to make money and you to save money off of what you already are doing at the same time. Why? Because if I'm putting it on the table like that, each individual that I come in contact with has that even opportunity. So I'm not running around here trying to put guesswork on somebody who says, I don't have time to do it. Well, most people do have time to do something that they feel like they're interested in. So I'm not pushing them to do anything. I'm pushing them to present them with an opportunity to make a conscious decision off of something that they're already doing. So if I'm doing that, I shift my mind state and my focus from trying to be a seller of something rather than to present an opportunity of some sort based off the things that they're already doing. I think we cloud judgment a lot of times with ourselves when we go to people and we lack the mentality initially to think about this is not a sale. I want everybody to start thinking to themselves, this is not a sale. This is not a sales pitch. This is not for sale. Because I often say, if you can get in your mind that I'm not in ACN, ACN is in me. Let me repeat that. I'm not in ACN, ACN is in me. In other words, it's what I do every single day, sun up to sundown, with no struggle, with no struggle. It's natural for me to do what I do. Why? Because I'm trying to help somebody. If I'm chosen and committed to be in this arena, we must train our mind to say we're trying to help somebody. I get it. I get it. But Sam, I'm also in it to try to help me. Exactly. I get that part too. No harm, no foul. But you should always be in it to help somebody. Why? Because this is a long-term effect. Now, I said last week, think about why you came in ACN. Yeah, you came in to make money, but hopefully if you're chosen and committed and you're on this call, you came in for a long-term effect of helping somebody. There is no success without a successor. Let me say that again. If you're ever trying to get somewhere in life and you're trying to be somebody, there is no success without a successor. In other words, you ought to always be thinking long term. How is this going to affect me long term? Can ACN provide the financial freedom me and my family are looking for long term? What does ACN represent up front? Is it a huge overhead cost for my people that's on the call that's thinking about doing something like this? Is there a huge risk involved? Well, I don't think so. For a one-time fee of $324 collectively, $299 to get started and $25 a month, one time, $324. I don't think that's a lot. But what do you mean by that, Sam? Well, for a lot of businesses out there, 324 won't even cover the paperwork that you need to start a traditional business. Somebody needs to understand that who may be stuck in translation of thinking about how to even approach somebody with an opportunity. You got to understand that 324 for a lot of people may seem like a lot, but remember, you're talking about a business opportunity that has everything I like to say congested inside of a box. What do you mean? You got your essential services in there. You got your travel package in there. This is all within ACN now. You have that going on, right? And when I say essential services, these are the services that everybody knows and uses on a daily basis. So, worst case scenario, we help people save money on their bills. That's up to them to make a decision if the savings are right for them or not. But we have different price plans on the services that we provide. In other words, ladies and gentlemen, we're accommodative toward the average person, which is not stuck in one lane. You have to understand we're not up and down. We're well rounded in ACN. Somebody needs to understand that. But what is this all about? This is a well rounded opportunity for somebody to gravitate to it. For my business owners out there, I just want somebody to be thinking right now because you're chosen and committed. But I want you to think more outside of the box than you do just inside of the box. Why? Because if you approach the traditional business owner, it should be simple for them to understand. Can I help you? Can I help you see if we can save you on your bottom line effect? What's the bottom line? I never heard that term. The bottom line is everything that they're doing in their traditional business and at their home. That's bottom line. Can we help you that way? Why? Because ACN encompasses the residential and the business aspect at the same time. So for that business owner, that should be a hint. That should be a hint. Let me see. Let me try this out. Let me do my research. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if they want to do their research, let's let them go ahead and do their research. Why? Because I'm gonna go, me personally, I hit them with the 30-year effect. That's right. As of about 2.5, 3 weeks ago, we just celebrated in the wonderful Lone Star State 30 years of accomplishment as a company. 30 years. Wait a minute. Did you say that right? A 3 and a 0. That right there alone should spark up the average person to say, they got a little longevity going on. Why? Where do you know you can go and get a 30-year consistent track record business that's located all over the country and in 27 countries outside the United States of America, outside of the United States of America? I don't know about you guys, but if I'm telling somebody that, I think that can speak for itself. That can really speak for itself. Let's go a little bit further and I'll be gone. Because I want somebody to think on this last Friday of the month of March, I want you to start thinking outside of the box. Why? Because you are chosen. We just need you to be committed. Let me say this one more time without bells, without whistles, without smoke involved. You are chosen to be here because you're here now. We just need the commitment factor. And I just believe somebody on this call is willing to be committed, but they have to understand what a commitment is all about. We don't want anybody to think a commitment has to be a struggle, a strife, a pull, a tug. No, a commitment level is locking arms with all of us on this call worldwide. We got people on this call from Japan and Asia, Australia, Latin America. It doesn't matter. Remember what I said. We're in 5 continents. We're in 27 countries outside the United States. This is a global opportunity for somebody, a global opportunity for you to think, let me stay on the right track of doing this. We have an opportunity for you to lock arms with us. If you're here now and you're in the business, Let's keep going with each other and stay committed to each other and hold each other accountable for our actions. If you're stuck in a situation and you're thinking, I want to advance my business further, okay, let's tap on that for a second. The only thing you have to do about that is, once again, continue to stay on the calls and allow yourself the opportunity to go back and look at some of these calls on Destiny International to motivate yourself. Some of these people on these calls that do it, you know them, you've seen them before. Reach out to us. Stay coming on the call so that way you can get informed information. Why? Because as your business starts to expand and you're thinking long term, we got somebody in Minnesota, we got somebody in California, we got somebody in New York that can cover people that you know and you love all over this globe. As long as you have an internet connection, we're there. We're there. I don't want you to think opportunities in business are so small and narrow-minded. No, you have a global business that you need to be able to think once again outside of the traditional box. Why? Because somebody is willing to join this opportunity if they're well informed. And there's nothing wrong with saying, I got to take baby steps, but at the same time, reach out to somebody so you can connect to the right people. Connect to the right people. Keep coming on the calls. Share this information with somebody. Because I don't know about you, who doesn't want to make extra money? Who doesn't want to make residual income? For somebody that's hearing this call for the first time, well, my God, what is residual income? I'm glad you asked. That's traditionally the money that you get paid to do something one time. It continues to roll itself after you do it the first time. So in other words, I like to say you got front end money when you get paid for it on the front end. And if it turns into residual income, it continues to grow and grow and grow on the back end. As long as you stay in, you win. Let me say this again. As long as you stay in, you win. Because you can change your mentality. Watch this. By association. Now, I'm confused. If you can be guilty by association, ladies and gentlemen, can't you also be blessed by it? That's right. That's right. That's right. If I'm going to leave you with any kind of train of thought on this magical March Madness month, the end of the month, if you can be guilty by association, why can't you be blessed by association? I'm leaving that right there. I'm leaving that right there, ladies and gentlemen. I want that to be food for thought. Told you I wasn't going to be before you long because I want to be effective yet efficient. My name is Sam Foster, and I endorse this message. Happy March Madness to everyone. Welcome to the team if you have not joined. If you've been in, let's continue to win. Thank you.